On today's video, I'm going to try to figure out why the Stihl 201C saw is not working. The difference between the C and the T is this has a rear handle, the Stihl 201T has a top handle. And let's just start off right out the bat with the hang cord test. It's holding good compression, so we don't have to worry about checking the piston right away. We'll do some other stuff first. The next thing that I always do, pop the fuel top, dump the fuel, put fresh fuel in there. We'll see if we can get it going from there. After that, I'm gonna go through and take the carburetor off, do a complete service and maintenance on this saw, and make sure that everything else is functioning the way it's supposed to, and hopefully we figure out what's wrong with it in the process. So with that, let's jump right into the video and I'll show you guys what I find.
Start by removing the air filter cover as well as the air filter. Then you're gonna see two screws below. We gotta take that stuff off to access the carburetor. This air filter housing sticks a little bit, so use a screwdriver to pry it up. You're not going to bust anything. Now we're going to start removing the carburetor. Go ahead and pull it out, disconnect the linkage, and then we're going to have to disconnect the wiring harness. I've already dumped the fuel out on this unit, but make sure you guys are relieving the pressure before you take off the fuel line. Otherwise, it's going to spray fuel all over the place. You're going to need to take out this cap before you can remove the wiring harness. This is a port where your MDG1 tester plugs into if you're trying to do diagnostics on the carburetor. Just use a screwdriver to push in that tab to disconnect the rest of the wiring harness. I'm going to blow the carburetor off before I disassemble and clean it. Plug the manifold hole with your thumb so that way you're not blowing any debris inside the engine housing, and then blow this whole compartment out. Now I'm going to pop off the tank vent and take a look at it and see if it's dirty and needs cleaning. It's not terrible, but I'm going to clean it anyways. Just some carb cleaner and compressed air. And I'm going to disassemble the carburetor and give it a bath in the ultrasonic cleaner for 20 minutes. On the M-Tronic cleaners, I will remove the wiring harness so that way everything can get clean, and I will run the wiring harness through the ultrasonic cleaner. Time to load all the parts into the basket. I do have these little wire mesh baskets that I use to put all the screws and small parts in, so that way I can clean them as well. I run the carburetor for 20 minutes in 80-degree solution. Here's the carburetor all clean and reassembled, ready to reinstall. I will save the air filter by cleaning it. I blast it off with air first, then I'll take carb cleaner. I'll blast it with the carb cleaner, and then I'll blow it off again. The carb cleaner gets rid of most of the discoloring, which is fine dirt particles. As you can see, the air filter looks almost brand new. 25 cents in carb cleaner, and I'd save the customer about 14 bucks. I'm going to use my fishing tool to grab a hold of the fuel line, pull it out, grab the fuel filter, and turn it back and forth until it pops off. If you try to pull it off without turning it back and forth first, you can bust the fuel line, especially if it's an older or brittle line. And I'm going to fill it up with Moto Mix, which is my magic fuel. Works 100% every single time. I'm going to reconnect the fuel cap. There's a little ball on the end, and you snap that into place inside the tank. I'm going to purge this quite a few times to get the old fuel out, clean through the fuel line, get all the air out since I just redid the carburetor.
All right, got the saw service put back together, and you can see it ran fine. The saw was flooded. There was a bunch of white smoke coming off the muffler. That was just the gas that had been pushed through. So not sure what was wrong with it, but by the time I got the air filter cleaned, got the fuel filter replaced, got the carburetor cleaned, got the tank vent cleaned, went through the fuel tank, got the old fuel out, put new fuel in there, purged everything through the system. The saw worked fine. Sometimes you don't know what it is, but there's no point in tracking the stuff down. I've got a regiment and a routine that I go through on servicing stuff. And when I go through and do that servicing stuff, it usually takes care of the problem. So it needs to be done anyway, just going through and cleaning stuff. So that's what I do. That makes the job easier because then I don't have to sit there and say, well, I wonder what if it's this and wonder if it's that. Once I go through and do all the cleaning on the stuff, if there's still an issue, then I can get a more detailed approach to it. But when I did the hang cord test, it passed with flying colors, so I wasn't too concerned about the piston. Sometimes piston problems or carburetor problems can have some stuff that is common with some other issues on the saws. So it sort of throws you for a loop there. But ultimately, if you go through and you clean everything first, you eliminate a lot of those what ifs and could be's. So I would highly recommend doing your cleaning before you do any repairs or trying to troubleshoot a lot of this stuff. The 201C saws like this one, it's pretty much a unicorn saw. I don't see a ton of them. I sell maybe one a year. This particular tree service, this is the only in-tree saw that they use. They don't use the top handle saws just because of the added liability and danger with those. But these are sort of fun to work on. These are a lot easier to work on than the 201T handles. The T handles, they have the wiring harness that goes through there, and there's a lot of complicated linkages and stuff in there that are a pain to put back. But this one's a lot easier, and I don't mind working on these at all. So hopefully the stuff that I showed you in this video, you guys can apply to other chainsaws if you're having issues. Always check for spark, always check for air, always check the fuel. If you have those three things, it's pretty much going to eliminate most of your problems, and then you can start branching off from there. If you guys did find this video helpful, make sure you guys like it down below and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Check out my other great content on there. I've got a lot of stuff that I've worked on that comes in the shop on a daily basis. I've got tools, tips, and tricks that I use in the shop to get customers' equipment fixed and right back out the door. So if you guys did find this video helpful, also check out the description. A way you can support my channel is clicking on one of my Amazon affiliate links. I do list the tools that I use on these videos so that way you guys can buy them for yourself, and I guarantee you they're going to make your job a lot easier and save you a lot of money in the process. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you guys on the next one.